My friends, if you have reached this stage of life and you still feel a quiet heaviness after spending time with certain people, a tiredness that has nothing to do with your body and everything to do with your soul, then please sit with me for a while, because what I am about to share with you today took me many decades to finally understand, and I only wish someone had said it to me sooner. We are taught from childhood that loyalty means staying, that love means enduring, that family means forever, no matter what. And for most of my life, I believed that completely. I showed up, I gave, I forgave, I returned again and again to people who left me feeling smaller each time I walked away from them. I told myself that was strength, that was character, that was what good people do. But age has a way of stripping away comfortable lies. At some point, you begin to realize that not every person who shares your blood deserves your peace. Not every person who has known you for decades deserves access to what little energy you have left. And not every relationship that began with love has remained worthy of the sacrifice it continues to demand from you. This is not bitterness speaking. I want you to understand that clearly. This is clarity. And clarity, my friends, is one of the most precious gifts that growing older can offer us, if we are brave enough to accept it. Today, I want to talk about 5 types of people that I have learned, sometimes painfully, to keep a careful distance from in these later years of life. Some of them may surprise you. Some of them may feel uncomfortably familiar. And yes, some of them may be sitting at your own dinner table. The first person you must avoid is the constant critic. Now, I am not talking about someone who occasionally offers honest feedback with love behind it. That kind of person is rare and valuable. I am talking about the person for whom nothing you do is ever quite right. Your choices are always slightly wrong. Your opinions always need correcting. Your way of doing things is always just a little beneath what it should be. I knew a man like this for many years. Intelligent fellow, meant well, I believe. But every conversation with him ended the same way. I would walk away quietly examining everything I had just said, wondering where I had gone wrong, questioning decisions I had felt perfectly confident about before we spoke. He never shouted. He never insulted. He simply had a way of making you feel like you were always one step behind where you should be. Here is what I eventually understood about constant critics. Their criticism has very little to do with you. It is the language their own dissatisfaction speaks. But understanding that does not protect you from the damage. Because when you spend enough time around someone who consistently makes you feel inadequate, you begin to believe them. Not all at once, slowly. The way water shapes stone. At this stage of life, you do not have the years to spare rebuilding confidence that someone else quietly chips away. Your peace is too valuable for that. Your mornings are too precious for that. Distance yourself with kindness if you can, but distance yourself. The second person you must avoid is the energy drainer. You know exactly who I mean. You think of calling them, and something inside you hesitates. You leave their company and feel as though you ran a long distance without moving. Every conversation circles around their problems, their grievances, their fears, their dramas. And somehow, without meaning to, they leave no room for yours. I had someone like this in my life for a very long time. And the difficult truth is that I loved this person. Still do, in a way. But love does not always mean proximity. I began to notice that after our visits, I needed a full day to recover. Not because anything dramatic happened, simply because giving constantly to someone who never thinks to give back is genuinely exhausting. Energy drainers are not always cruel people. Many of them are simply deeply wounded people who have never learned to carry their own weight. They lean on whoever stands still long enough. And if you are a kind, patient, generous person, which many of you listening are, they will lean on you until your knees begin to buckle. Here is the hard truth. You cannot pour endlessly from an empty vessel. And at 65, at 70, at 75, your vessel needs protecting. The compassionate choice is not always to stay. Sometimes the compassionate choice for both of you is to step back. Let them find support that is more equipped to hold them. And let yourself breathe again. The third person you must avoid and this is the one that surprised me most deeply, is the guilt keeper. The guilt keeper is someone who has mastered the quiet art of reminding you of everything you have ever done wrong, every promise that fell short, every moment you were not enough, without ever quite saying it directly. They do it through sighs, through silences that last a beat too long, through small comments that carry enormous weight, through the way they bring up the past at moments when the present is going perfectly well. I remember a particular afternoon many years ago. I had done something I was genuinely proud of, a small thing, but meaningful to me, and I made the mistake of sharing it with someone who had appointed themselves the keeper of all my failures. Before the conversation ended, we had somehow arrived at a mistake I made 12 years earlier. I drove home that evening, no longer feeling proud. I felt ashamed, and I had not done a single thing wrong that day. Guilt keepers are especially dangerous in old age, because many of us already carry enough regret of our own. We do not need someone else curating a collection of our worst moments and displaying them at inconvenient times. Regret, when it belongs to us alone, can eventually soften into wisdom, but regret that is kept alive by someone else never heals. It simply stays open. You are allowed to have made mistakes and still deserve peace. You are allowed to have fallen short in certain moments and still deserve to feel good on a quiet afternoon. Do not give anyone the power to decide otherwise. The fourth person you must avoid is the one who only appears when they need something. This one requires honesty because they can be very easy to miss. They are warm when they arrive, affectionate, interested in your life. For a brief, wonderful window, you feel seen and appreciated. And then, once what they came for has been given, the warmth fades. The visits stop. The phone goes quiet until the next time something is needed. I have experienced this more times than I care to count, and each time I told myself I was being uncharitable. Perhaps they are simply busy. Perhaps life has pulled them in difficult directions, and sometimes that is genuinely true. But there is a difference between someone whose life is full and someone whose interest in you is conditional. The clearest sign is this: when you are the one who needs something, and I do not mean money or grand gestures, I mean simply a listening ear, a phone call returned, a small acknowledgement that you exist and matter. They are nowhere to be found. The relationship only flows in one direction, and that is not a relationship. That is a transaction wearing the costume of one. In these years of life, your time is not infinite. Your emotional reserves are not inexhaustible. Every hour you invest in a one-sided connection is an hour taken from someone who would genuinely treasure it. Choose accordingly. The fifth person you must avoid is perhaps the most difficult to name, because we have been taught that naming them is a betrayal. It is the family member who diminishes you. I said at the beginning that some of these would be sitting at your own dinner table. This is that one. Not every family is a safe place. That is a truth many people carry privately for their entire lives without ever saying it out loud. Some families are full of warmth and genuine love, and some contain people who, beneath the shared history and the holiday gatherings and the familiar faces, make you feel less than you are, less capable, less worthy, less deserving of the space you occupy. They may do it with humor, a joke at your expense that everyone laughs at except you. They may do it with comparison, a subtle reminder of how someone else in the family managed things better. They may do it with dismissal, the way your opinion is spoken over, the way your stories are interrupted, the way your feelings are treated as inconveniences rather than truths. I want to say something carefully here, because I know this is delicate. Avoiding someone does not always mean never seeing them again. It does not always mean dramatic declarations or broken relationships. Sometimes it simply means protecting yourself within the relationship. It means deciding which gatherings to attend and which to gracefully decline. It means limiting how much of your inner life you share with someone who has demonstrated they will not handle it with care. It means stepping back from the parts of a relationship that consistently leave you wounded, even if you cannot step away from the relationship entirely. You are allowed to love someone and still protect yourself from the ways they harm you. Those two things can exist at the same time. Love does not require self-abandonment. My friends, I want to be honest with you about something before we part today. For most of my life, I believed that the measure of a good person was how much they endured, how long they stayed, how much they forgave, how wide they opened their doors, even to people who consistently walked through them and left things broken. I no longer believe that. I have lived long enough to understand that endurance without discernment is not virtue. It is simply habit. And some habits cost us more than we ever intended to pay. The years ahead of you, however many they may be, deserve to be inhabited by people who genuinely add to your life. People who leave you feeling a little lighter, a little warmer, a little more like yourself after they have gone. Those people exist. Some of them may already be in your life, quiet and steady, waiting for you to give them more of the attention you have been spending elsewhere. Protecting your peace is not selfishness. It is not coldness. It is not the abandonment of love. It is the understanding, hard-won through years of living, that you cannot be fully present for the people who deserve you if you are constantly depleted by the people who diminish you. Choose your circle carefully now, not out of bitterness, not out of judgment, but out of deep and honest respect for the life you still have in front of you. You have earned that much, my friends. You have more than earned it. Thank you for spending this time with me today. I hope something in these words settles quietly with you and stays. Take care of yourselves, be gentle with your decisions, and until we sit together again, may your days be peaceful, your heart be steady, and the people around you be worthy of everything you bring to them.